Meg. Welcome to Plant Fit Meg. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I hope you'll take a look around at some other videos. I make videos about healthy weight loss, yummy plant-based recipes, and living a healthy plant-based lifestyle. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today I wanted to talk about weight loss tips, and there are tons of weight loss tips that float around and circulate the internet, and some are amazing, some are fabulous tips, and some are not so great. Today I'm going to share tips that I have learned through my own weight loss experience. I have lost 80 pounds on a plant-based diet and completely regained my health. I'll link some videos up here for you to check out and in the description box below. These are tips that have worked for me, and I hope they work for you too. If you like this video, remember to give it the thumbs up, subscribe below if you haven't already, and let's get right into it. So tip number one might seem a bit obvious, especially if you have tried to lose weight in the past and you've been going through that yo-yo cycle, and it is to avoid anything gimmicky. So avoid any weight loss teas, pills, shakes, anything that promises, massive weight loss in a short amount of time. Those things are not healthful, they're not sustainable. You might lose weight in the short term, but you will likely regain it and your health will suffer for it as well. I do not recommend any pills, potions, teas, anything like that. Keep track of what you're eating and where your starting point is with your food. So I recommend keeping a food diary, a food journal. You can do it hand to paper. You can do it pen to paper if you prefer, or you can also use an app if you want to do it that way. You could use something like Chronometer or MyFitnessPal, but really, I recommend being aware of what you're putting into your body. For someone like me, it was very easy to have my 3 meals a day, but then have other foods sort of slip in that I wasn't very mindful about or very aware of. And over time, that would sort of put me off track with my weight loss efforts. So to be really mindful and to write things down and keep track of what you're eating, and no judgment, you just write it down, you just keep track, because then you can see over a day, a few days, a week, a couple of weeks, what you're doing and maybe what habits you want to tweak, or where you might be getting really hungry and needing a snack and eating something that maybe is not in your plan. And it just helps to create mindfulness around your eating habits. And then you can assess and switch things up as you go. Okay?
Yeah. Hi.
You want to say hi?
Yeah.
Riordan's at home with me while I'm filming these days because our province is in lockdown. So we get to spend so much time together, right?
Yeah, and watch this.
Oh my goodness, big jumping. Okay, I gotta finish filming, okay, bub? You're not hungry yet?
I'm very hungry.
Oh, you're very hungry. Okay, how about I just finish this quick and then we will start getting dinner going. Love you, honey. Okay. Filming has been very difficult recently because Riordan's at home doing a virtual school, and so finding time to film and edit has been interesting and difficult, but we persevere. Where was I? Don't buy junk food. Don't keep it in your house. This might be difficult if you live with other people and you have to sort of negotiate and make a plan around how you're going to make that work for your family. But for me, especially in the beginning, it was very important to not have junky kind of foods around, like chips and candies and things like that. Those things are very hard to resist for someone who loves food and who can easily succumb to eating those things even when I didn't really want to eat those things. Oftentimes I would think, oh, you know, Chris can buy something and have it in the house and it'll be fine. Like, I won't touch it. It's okay. And sometimes that worked, honestly, but a lot of times it didn't. And then I would go through that cycle of desperately trying to stay away from it, don't think about it, don't focus on it. And it just occupied so much of my brain and so much of my thoughts, and it drove me a little crazy, honestly. And then I would end up digging into the foods sometimes, and then I would feel bad, and it was this whole cycle. So especially in the beginning of my weight loss, we made an arrangement that Chris would eat whole food plant-based at the house, and then if he was wanting something junky, he would eat it outside of the home. That was what worked for us. Another strategy that worked kind of later on into my weight loss journey, when I was a little more comfortable having those things around and just not being as interested in them, was putting things on a high shelf out of the way, that a cupboard that I'm not in all the time. And that might be helpful for you if you live with other people who, you know, eat those things and want to continue to buy and purchase and enjoy those foods. Understand calorie density. So calorie density is the number of calories per pound in a given amount of food. And you might look at it and say, well, I don't eat a pound of whatever the food item is, but it's just a scale to give you an idea of how calorie dense different foods are. So for example, non-starchy vegetables run between, I think it's 100 to 200 calories a pound. And then fruits are a little higher than that, 200 to 300 calories a pound. And then it goes up from there with, you know, starchy veggies and beans and whole grains and that kind of stuff. And then moving into animal products and more processed foods like breads and flours and things like that. And with oil being the most concentrated source of calories at 4,000 calories a pound. So I'll leave a few visuals here because I think that helps illustrate the point a little bit more, and it was helpful to me to see certain visuals to get an idea of what this means. I'm not someone who counts calories or pays attention really to how many calories I'm consuming, but my focus is on whole foods, eating foods that are very nutritious, very high in nutrient density, and foods that are lower calorie and higher in fiber. And they're just naturally low calorie and high in fiber. It's not like I'm buying a processed package that has marketing claims on it. I'm just eating whole foods that happen to be very high in nutrient density, low in calories, and high fiber, and that's a great combination for weight loss. Eat 3 large meals a day. So this one might be a little controversial because in certain cases, people do better with multiple small meals throughout the day. For me personally, doing the small meals throughout the day just meant that I was always eating and always thinking about food, and that was extremely difficult for me, and I had a much harder time moderating what I was eating and how much I was eating because there was more variety in my meals, and it was just more difficult for me personally. So if eating 5 or 6 meals, tiny meals a day works for you, cool, do it, that's awesome. But for me, I'm a volume eater. I love to have massive meals and feel really full and really nourished and have the energy to do what I need to do for an extended period of time until my next meal. I do snack from time to time, but I don't snack every day. You can check out my What I Eat in a Day playlist. I'll link it up here so you can see what sort of some typical days of eating look like for me. Sometimes I have snacks, sometimes I don't. So yeah, eating 3 large meals a day was very helpful for me. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner don't have to be the traditional breakfast, lunch, and dinner meals. So back in the day, before I went plant-based, breakfasts were always sweet I would never think to eat a lunch meal or a dinner meal for breakfast. It just would never have even occurred to me that that was a thing. Because in my mind, breakfast was one thing and then lunch and dinner was something else. And to a certain extent, I still do that. I still like to have something sweet in the morning, like, you know, oats or a whole grain with fruit and things like that. But other times I do switch it up and I might have what is considered a lunch or dinner meal for my breakfast. Or I'll have something that's considered a breakfast food for dinner, which I have always done and always loved and enjoyed. So I mix it up, and you don't have to be confined by what you think breakfast should look like. Go ahead and eat your greens if you want to. Go ahead and eat your vegetables and eat whatever you want to eat that will support your weight loss goals. Gamify your nourishment. So what I mean by this is to think about how you can incorporate more diversity of plants into your diet. I've been doing this for a long time to try to increase the nutrient density of my meals and try to boost the nutrition wherever I can, whether it's adding greens or adding beans or just adding something that will add a little boost of something to my meals. But a book that really helped crystallize it and outline it more clearly and more specifically is the book Fiber Fueled by Dr. Will Bulsiewicz. I really hope I'm saying that right. And it's a great book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend checking it out. He talks about the diversity of plants in your diet being extremely important for optimal health. And he has a point system that he uses to gamify your diet. And you don't necessarily need to read that book and do his point system, but it's really fun to make a game out of it. Make it fun. Think of how you can incorporate another vegetable into your meal, or how you can add more fruit to your day. Or when you're shopping, seeking out different varieties of fruits and vegetables, whole grains and legumes that you haven't tried before. It can be really fun to experiment and play with. If you're just starting out, I wouldn't focus on this too much because it can maybe create some overwhelm. But if you've been doing this for a while and you're looking to boost your nutrition, this can be a great way to do it and a really fun way to do it. If you want, you can even keep track of it, create a little point system for yourself, and see how you do and see how you progress. And over time, your taste buds might change such that you're eating a lot more highly nutrient dense foods like greens and beans and whole grains and these things. Keeping it fun and light and gamifying it in a way can really help keep you on track. And that leads me into my next point. Keep going. So no matter what happens, if you fall off the wagon, as they like to say, if something happens, something comes up, and things don't go your way for whatever reason, for a meal or a snack, or for a few meals or a few snacks or a few days or a week, as soon as you can, get back on track and keep going. Make the commitment to yourself for your health and for your weight loss goals. Keep in mind where you want to end up and what future you want out of life, and keep that in mind and keep going. Move your body. Moving your body is so important for optimal health, and it can also be helpful in weight loss. This one, again, might be slightly controversial depending on who's watching, because some people have lost massive amounts of weight doing zero exercise. And it is possible to eat whole foods and change your diet such that you lose weight and you don't necessarily need to exercise. However, for me personally, I need to move my body. I love to move my body. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel energized. It makes me feel productive and happy and many good things. and I have a very good relationship with movement, and I always have. So for me, it was very important to continue to move my body. I have had times in my life where I've been extremely ill. I'm a cancer survivor, and I've also had chronic illnesses where I couldn't move my body for an extended period of time. So I have great appreciation for being able to move my body and do what I want to do. So move your body in any way that is fun for you and that works for you. I'll leave a video here about getting your body moving every day in fun and different ways. Moving my body really helped with improving my health, my happiness, and my weight loss. Find support. So find people who have been in your position, people who have been where you are, people who are interested in a plant-based diet and living a healthy lifestyle, and who you can share your struggles with, share your triumphs, share recipes, share ideas, and just chat and connect with. You guys can always connect with me by leaving comments below my videos. I respond to most every comment as much as I can. And you can also find groups online that are amazing. Maybe you're lucky enough to have someone in your household or in your life that you can talk to about living a plant-based lifestyle and losing weight and being on track. But reach out, find support. It can be really, really helpful. Whether you're doing well or you're having a hard time, it can be really nice to have that camaraderie and have someone to bounce ideas off of, and someone to maybe even be an accountability buddy with and have a bit of a back and forth exchange that way. So those are 10 weight loss tips that have helped me lose 80 pounds. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I do have other videos about other weight loss tips. These are not the only weight loss tips that are helpful and have helped me to lose weight, so I'll leave other videos linked in the description box below that you can check out if you haven't seen them yet. I hope you really enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give it a like. Subscribe below if you haven't already, and hit the little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!